it's Jamie from, sorry, I'm having camera problems, Play to Learn Preschool. Thank you so much for joining me today. So I'm coming to you live from our little classroom library area here at Play to Learn Preschool. We have our circle time carpet is lined with bookshelves full of our favorite picture books for preschoolers. So if you're joining me, let me know in the comments. Hi, you guys, it's good to see you. And today's topic for our video is wordless picture books. So I don't know, do you have any wordless, hey Megan, do you have any wordless picture books in your classroom library? I love them. We actually have them in a couple of different places in our room. I have them with some of my thematic books, I have them with some of my holiday books, and then of course we have some in our general area. And I found two new ones at the NACCE Expo. Hi you guys. Hi, thanks for checking in. I found two new ones at the NACCE Expo, and it really just kind of made me think like, oh, I should share some wordless picture books with my Facebook friends. How do you feel about reading wordless picture books? Do you enjoy doing it? I love it. I feel like it gives so much freedom, you know, for taking as long as we want with the book when the kids are interested, or if they're not engaged, you know, can make it quick if we've got younger kids. My husband, so I have, you know, 4 kids of my own, and we have wordless picture books in our home library. He hates to read them. Like, the kids will choose them, you know, they're older now, but when they were little, they would choose one. He'd be like, pick a different book. Like, why? He's like, I don't know what it says. I'd be like, yeah, that's the whole point. You're supposed to look at the pictures and make it up. And he's like, I don't like to do that. I would rather have a book that I can just read or that I've got memorized, you know? Can't we just read Goodnight Moon for the 10 millionth time? So I'm interested to hear from you if you enjoy reading them with your kids, or if you find it difficult to read with your kids, or if you really love them, kind of like I do. So let me know how you feel about wordless picture books, or if you've never tried one, let me know that too. Okay, so I have 2 that I'm gonna read, and then a couple more that I'm just gonna tell you about. If you also have some that you love, I didn't pull out all my thematic stuff, so I have like some dinosaur wordless picture books, and I know I have some summer wordless picture books, and I didn't pull all those thematic stuff out before we went on the video. So if you have one, let me know in the comments what your favorite wordless picture book is. Okay, so here's my very favorite one. I'm gonna start off with my very favorite one. And we just got this at the, like I said, at the NACCE Expo. So I've got the camera so you can see it. Now I'm all, there we go. It's called Owl Bat, Bat Owl. And it is completely wordless. Some of the ones I'm gonna share with you have like a word or two. This one, 0 zip zilch words. It's the sweetest little book about a mother owl and her baby owls, and a mother bat and her baby bats. So I'm just gonna kind of show you some of the pictures. It's such a sweet book. Owl Bat, Bat Owl by Marie Louise Fitzpatrick. So it starts off, you know, during the day when the owls are sleeping, and we can talk with the kids about why are the owls sleeping, you know, during the day, or where are they sleeping? The next page, they're still sleeping, it's daytime, and then all of a sudden here comes a family of bats. Oh, I love Hug. That's a good one. Actually, that one might be right behind me. And when the bats arrive on the branch, the mother, what's this page first? It's hard to read backwards. I know it's difficult to understand, but everything is like in a mirror for me. So then they wake up because there is a family of bats underneath their branch. And so then the owls are looking at them. We can talk to them. Why do you think the bats are upside down under the branch? You know, the owls are kind of like, what's going on down there? And so then the mother owl pushes her little babies, scooch over, move away, they're too close. And so then the owls are sleeping here close to the tree, and the bats are here. But what do you see in the picture? Like the littlest baby owl is looking, and the littlest baby bat is looking. And they're trying to figure out each other, you know? It's such a sweet, did I give a spoiler alert? No, there might be a spoiler. Megan, do you know this one? I do have Hug. It's actually probably right behind me in my favorites basket. I'll have to look. So then the owl and the baby bat want to be friends. Is there a spoiler in this one? You're making me nervous. If you don't want to know the ending, you can, I don't know, push pause or whatever. And then look, the little baby owl goes down to be next to his friend or her friend, the bat. And the mother owl is like, get back up here. And then she's saying, it's time to sleep. So then they're trying to go back to sleep, and the mother bat is all wrapped, has her baby bat all wrapped up in her wings. And then a big breeze comes, and you can tell when we can talk to the kids about how do you know that there's a big wind coming? Can you see how the illustrations show that there's a big wind and the bats are being pushed off to the side? And then look what happens. Craziness. All the bats and owls, they're all flying helter-skelter all over the place. Roll this picture so you can see it's 2 pages. Isn't that funny? They're all over. Bats and owls blowing around everywhere. And then the branch is empty. And so the owl is looking for her babies, and the mama bat is looking for her babies. Aren't they beautiful? I know, the illustrations are incredible in this. They're flying away to try to find their babies. And look, the moon is coming up. What do we know about owls and bats when the moon comes up? Do you know? So look, this the mother owl has one baby back, and the mother bat has one baby back. But they're still missing some, so let's see what happens. If they go to find some more. They're bringing all their babies back to the branch, and you can tell it's starting to get nighttime because the moon is coming up. So the mother owl has found 2 of her babies, and the mother bat has found 2 of her babies, but they're still missing one. Remember, there were 3 babies on the branch, so they're waiting for their missing sibling to come back. And look what happens. This is my favorite picture. Look. Who is the mother owl carrying? Oh, it's the baby bat. And who is the mother bat carrying? Oh, it's the littlest owl. So they're all back on their branch. They've been counting to make sure they're all there. Oh, cool. They have a whole section of wordless books. That's awesome. And then you remember how at the beginning the owl made her babies, scooch over toward the tree. So now she's saying, scooch back, we can be friends again. And there they all are, back together again. And look, the little owl is going down to be friends with the bat. Oh no, they fell. Now they're all going off to play together because it's nighttime. Isn't that a sweet book? I know, it's by Marie Louise Fitzpatrick. I just absolutely love it. It's perfect for study of nocturnal animals, of course. It's great for counting. It's great if you're talking about bedtime, or if you ever do like a bedtime unit. And the thing that I love, there's lots of things that I love about wordless picture books, and I'd be happy to hear, I'd love to hear what you think too, but is the story's different every time you tell it. If you tell it, it could go one way, but another teacher could look at the pictures and do it another way. And the key is the kids can look at it and tell it their own way. And what that's saying to our children when we share wordless picture books like that is you can comprehend and make up the story based on the pictures. And that's one strategy that elementary school teachers are always trying to teach their students, right? Does your story make sense? Look at the pictures, especially in kindergarten and first grade. Look at the pictures. Does what you're saying, does it match the pictures? Does it make sense with the context of the book? And when we start with wordless picture books for our preschoolers, it really gives them that opportunity to say, I have to make a story up that makes sense, that goes with the pictures, that that kind of matches what's going on in the book. Because what we don't want is when the kids start to read at 6 or 7 or however old they're when they start to read, is that they just call out words or call out sounds without having any meaning. And so when we start with this foundation of books have meaning, stories have meaning, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end, it has to kind of make sense and go together, then we're laying that foundation that reading is to make sense, is to comprehend, is to learn, is to enjoy a story, not just to call out blah, blah, blah words or sounds, you know? So we're giving them that opportunity to practice making up a story. The other thing is, wordless picture books completely level the playing field for readers. An adult can read it, a 2-year-old could read it, anybody who can see these pictures and make up the story can read these books. So it's telling the kids, in addition to the fact that, you know, books have to make sense and they have to be comprehended, you have to make a story, you can read. And that's what we want our kids to start to say. I'm a reader. I can take this book, put it on my lap, turn the pages, and be a reader. So I'm going to share a couple more with you. The next one's kind of a little bit longer, so I'm just going to show you anybody except Joe. I won't tell him you said that. I'll show you the one specifically that he doesn't enjoy reading. This is another one that I was introduced to at the NACE Expo. It's called The Little Red Cat Who Ran Away and Learned His ABCs the Hard Way. And so I love this book because it's a picture book, but it's a wordless picture book, but it's also an alphabet book. And so it's in a very subtle, nuanced way, teaching kids, you know, letter sounds and words that start with letters. But if they don't know that, you can still read this book and make some pretty good sense. So it's a little bit longer. I'm just going to show you how great these pictures are. So there's the little red cat. And then, you know, you have to follow the pictures. So he wakes up and the door is open. What is he going to do? Oh no, he ran out the door. The little red cat ran away. Uh-oh, you shouldn't run away when the door is open. So there's his house, and he's running away. And then, there's an alligator outside his house. The alligator starts chasing the little red cat. And look who else they found. A bear. Now there's a bear and an alligator chasing the little red cat. What did they come across next? A chicken. Now there's an alligator, a bear, and a chicken chasing that little red cat. What do you think might be on the next page? A, B, C, D. It's a dragon. There's a dragon, a chicken, a bear, and an alligator all chasing the little red cat. Uh-oh. The chicken laid an egg. And the dragon breathed some fire. Now they're all wearing glasses. And so it goes on and on like that as this little red cat runs away, and all of these things happen to it, you know, as it's running away that all go along with the alphabet. And it's the same with the day and night, you know, so it starts, I'll kind of skip ahead, but they all have questions. They can't figure out which way to go. So first they make a restroom stop. And then the sun is setting and they're tired. It just keeps going like that. It's a really beautiful book. And then of course the magical unicorn has to come to show them the way home. He passes out Valentines to everyone. And then the little red cat waves goodbye to all of the people that had been chasing him. He locates his house. X marks the spot on the map. So he finds his house thanks to that X on the map. Oh, he's tired. He yawns and then gets some Z's. Isn't that so sweet? And then, of course, at the end, they give you a little guide to all of the pictures on each page in case you need help with them. But it's a really sweet story that the kids can tell and put in sequence, you know, according to what happens without any words, without feeling that pressure to read. So this is by Patrick McDonnell, the little red cat who ran away and learned his ABCs the hard way. Isn't that sweet? So it's a really cute wordless alphabet picture book. One of my favorites, my new favorites from the expo. Okay, so the next two I'm gonna show you are both by the same author, and the author is Peggy Rathman. Are you guys familiar with her? I actually had the pleasure of meeting Peggy Rathman probably like 15 years ago. She was at a bookstore here in Northern Virginia outside of Washington, D.C. And she's delightful, but she writes really amazing wordless picture books. So this is one of my favorites that I used to read to my own kids when they were little. It's called 10 Minutes Till Bedtime. And in this story, there's a little boy, and he of course has 10 minutes until bedtime. And there is like this whole circus of hamsters in his room. And as you can imagine, if your bedtime routine is anything like our bedtime routine, you say 10 minutes and nobody does anything at all to get ready for bed until 1 minute, right? So here he is building this book has been loved, building the hamster wheel. And the hamster yells out, testing, 1, 2, 3. Oh, I love that you made a wordless story with your own student. With your own preschooler. She painted the pictures and you just glued it together. I love that they could write their own wordless picture book. Beautiful idea. So the dad yells, 10 minutes till bedtime. And of course, the little hamster yells, they're coming. And you can see in the background all the hamsters coming to the house. The only words that are in this book are the countdown really to bedtime. So the hamster invites this whole hamster circus, all aboard. And they're all walking into his house. And the dad yells, 9 minutes till bedtime. 9 minutes. And it's this whole hamster circus. It's hilarious. I was gonna show you a couple of my favorite pages. So, as the countdown goes, like the dad yells 6 minutes till bedtime, and then he decides he'll start putting on his pajamas and taking a bath. And there's like 1 minute till bedtime. He's like, you have to leave. Look at this. Look what a mess they've made in his room. All that hamster party, the hamster circus party, and the main hamster guy, he's like, stop! And the boy yells, maybe it's the dad who yells. No, it's the boy. Bedtime! And so then they all have to leave, of course, before the dad comes back. So he's waving goodbye to all the hamster circus. It's a funny little book. And the kids will think it's really sweet before the daddy comes in and gives him a goodnight kiss. So in 10 minutes, he was able to have an entire hamster circus, take a bath, put on his pajamas, and get them all out before his dad came up, which is what it feels like at my house, right? When the kids, I'm like, what are you doing up there? Is there a hamster circus going on? And then this is the one that my husband can't stand to read, and it's one of my absolute favorite books in the whole world. Do you think I could find this small copy of this? Of course I could not. It is Goodnight Gorilla. Are you familiar with this book? It's also by Peggy Rathman, same author as 10 Minutes Till Bedtime. And in this story, the zookeeper named Joe goes to tuck all the animals in and say goodnight to them before bed. And this naughty gorilla steals the zookeeper's keys. And as he follows the zookeeper around, you can tell he's naughty. Look, he's causing all kinds of trouble. As he follows the zookeeper around, he lets the animals out of their cage. So look, you see him there? Sorry, this is a gigantic book. It's one of my big books and I can't find the small one. He says, "Goodnight, gorilla." And look, he's stealing the zookeeper's keys off of the back. And I know I love this book too. So there he gets out of his cage and he's following the zookeeper around, letting out the lion, the elephant, and the keys. The colors of the keys match the colors of the cages, which I just absolutely love. So he gets out the hyena, the giraffe, the armadillo. He gets all these animals out, and then they follow the zookeeper home to his house. You see that? There's all the animals. They left the zoo and they followed the zookeeper into his house. And they get into his bedroom. Look at that. They're following him into the zookeeper's bedroom. They're hiding in his room. And look, the gorilla is even on his bed. Then the zookeeper's wife says, "Good night, dear." And when she turns out the lights, guess what happens? Good night, good night, good night, good night, good night, good night, good night. All the other animals are saying good night. And so then the zookeeper's wife is like, "Who's in my room?" And then she takes them all back to the zoo and puts them back in their cages. And then at the very end, she gets back into bed, but look who's there with her. The little mouse and the gorilla, and the little mouse says, "Good night, gorilla," and the gorilla's already asleep. So sweet. So this is one of my very favorites, and it's the one that, of course, that my kids always wanted to read at night before bed, and my husband was always like, "I am not reading that book to you. There's no words in it." He's a good dad, but not his favorite thing. And then the last one I wanted to recommend, because it's seasonal and probably good for December and January, is The Snowman. Not the Snowman storybook. This is, there's 2 copies of this book. One is just called The Snowman. You could use both. That would be an interesting. Have you ever read this by Raymond Briggs? It's an older book. And it's these beautiful pictures of snowmen. And it's really, so it's this picture of this little boy building a snowman. The Wordless book has no story in it. It's just these beautiful illustrations. And I love to tell this story with my kids, or have them look at the pictures and try to figure out what's happening to the snowman. It's this story about, like, in the night, you know, he comes down the stairs and then the snowman's alive. And it's a really beautiful book. He brings him inside, dresses him up. And then later, after that book was published, then Raymond Briggs also published this one, which is the Snowman storybook. I like just the picture book. Do you think I could find it? No, it's probably in a pile somewhere on my desk. I know the Snowman is a beautiful wordless picture book. So I guess all of that to say, try it with your kids. Reading wordless picture books encourages your kids to make up the story as they go, to pay attention, to make sure that it makes sense. And it also gives them that message of, you're a reader, you're capable, you can be successful at this. Anybody can read, you know, and that's what we want them to think. So try some wordless picture. I don't know if I'm coming or going. Try some wordless picture books with your kids. Check them out at the library, or I left links to the ones that I shared up in the video description. Yes, there's 2 versions of this one, a regular one and a storybook one. So thank you for joining me this afternoon. Gemma and I are actually, we had said we would come on tomorrow to do our center tour, but tomorrow we're planning to get the final touches together for our Saturday workshop here at Play to Learn. So we will do our center tour on Monday. So I wish you a very happy weekend. I hope you have fun, as always, playing and learning with your kids, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.